Hello, good evening. I know caught my live chat this morning. I couldn't really talk to y'all too long because I was caught off guard. I had an issue I had to take care of. So I know some of you guys it threw you off this morning that I had to cut my video short early this morning because I had a situation I came up and long story short, what ended up happening was we have a what's called, I guess, the city ordinance people who drive around. Basically, anytime there's an abandoned vehicle that's been sitting in your driveway too long, or if there's some type of you have any abandoned cars or old vehicle that you're not driving and you're not using, what happens is the city rides around and they look for any abandoned vehicles or abandoned cars, and what they'll do is if you're not driving those vehicles, they'll fine you for it. Hey, what's up, T193U? Good evening, how you doing? Welcome to Cafe de Paris. Actually, I thank all of y'all for tuning in and dining with me this evening. I had a little live chat this morning, and I my video off because I had an issue. I had the city ordinance, and he was taking pictures of my car. 2002 millennia, and it's been sitting in my front yard every bit of damn maybe 2-3 years. I was supposed to bend, work on getting my car fixed. I had enough time to do it, but every time I saved up the money, things kept coming up. So the car just kept sitting there. And what happened was I okay. Let me see. Let me make sure. Okay. Ah, what's up? Wake the hell up. What you mean I'm on point with a player? He better not be no player. You better not be talking about player referring to my husband. He better not be no player. I done put in 18 years. I done put in overtime. Shh. I'm sorry, y'all. I got to kick these shoes off. They're killing my feet. I'm serious. Y'all, you men, y'all just don't know the pain us women got to go through to look fabulous. We wear shoes that's too goddamn small. Wear stuff we can't goddamn fit no more. I'm like, OMG. It's a time. But anyway, welcome everyone to Cafe de Paris. Thank God it is Friday. God is good. Y'all got through y'all work week. Now y'all can God tonight catch y'all little happy hour. Ladies get in free before 10 o'clock. You might meet you some men in the club that's over 50 still wearing throwback jerseys. Shout out to all my old school players that's still wearing the old throwback jerseys. Oh my goodness. I'm telling you, man. I don't see how people do the clubs anymore. The clubs are so dead. They're so dry. What's up, Uptown Girl? How you doing? What's good? I'm glad to see that you guys made it in. I did a video this morning, but I had to abruptly stop the doggone video because I'm peeping outside my window and I'm seeing the city ordinance guy circling the block like he looking for somebody who, escaping from prison or something like that. And I'm like, what the hell is he circling the block for? And sure enough, he ended up putting some tags on a vehicle of mine outside. So I have an old 2002 Mazda Millennia, which was my very first car. And I don't know about y'all, but when it ever comes to your first car, especially with something you paid for, and that was like your first like symbol of independence, I had a hard time letting that car go. I really, really did, because that was the first car I bought cash only. I bought that by myself. Nobody put in no money and helped me buy that car. And I was in love with that car. And I was going to try to continue fixing on it and working on it. And I was going to pass it down to my daughter. But I messed up because I allowed the car to sit too long. So all kind of rats and rodents had got in the car and all of that. So once they came today and they put tags on my car, basically when they start tagging your car, that means they're going to pull it. But at some point in time, they're going to come back and pull the car. Because I live in a city, y'all, and in the city, they are hella strict. You can't have no abandoned vehicles in your yard. I don't know if some of y'all understand where I'm coming from with that. If y'all have any strict city ordinances where you can't leave abandoned vehicles in your front yard, vehicles that's not working, vehicles that don't have expired tags on them. Anytime you leave vehicles like that on the main street, they fine you for it. Yep, and you absolutely right. Wake the hell up. They was getting ready to pull my first child from me. They was getting ready to pull my baby from me. So unfortunately, I had to make a decision, and I called the junkyard to come pull my car today. And I'm not gonna lie, y'all, I'm still depressed, y'all, because I had to let my old car go. I'm just, it's such a loss. That car meant so much to me. Y'all just don't understand. Me and that car had some good times together. I mean, I'm just so heartbroken. I had to let her go, y'all. I'm telling you. Just pray for me. I'm just struggling with that. I had to let go of my goddamn car. If I didn't, they would have pulled it anyway. So what I did was I let the junkyard come and pull it. That way I was able to get some money for it. Yeah, I'm telling you, man, I had some good memories in that car. I'm telling you, man, I'm just so heartbroken. I'm just thinking about it. I'm gonna cry right now, y'all. I had to let go of my 2002 Mazda Millennia. Leather seats, had a banging system. Oh my gosh, that thing was pretty. It was a pearl white. And I'm just so hurt. I don't even want to talk about it no more because I'm about to start getting emotional and crying and all that other stuff. So I don't even want to talk about it. But anyway, I had to let it go. So they did give me some change for it. Yeah, I love you. 2000. Yeah, your old car is sentimental. That was my first car. I bought that cash by myself. Nobody paid for that car for me. That was my first car. So it was very sentimental or whatever. It was like my first child. But I had to be realistic, y'all. I had to realize that holding on to it would have just costed me more in the long run. They would have kept coming around here putting tags on it. I would have keep paying fines. All the work that had to be done on it, it was just way too much money. It was almost like buying another car. But I got a 2016 Toyota RAV4 anyway. So I got a vehicle. I just didn't want to let that one go. You know what I'm saying? So, but anyway, I had to let it go because it was just going to cost me more trying to keep it. And so like some of y'all out there, y'all holding on to things y'all should have been let go of. Like y'all holding on to people that ain't no good. Y'all holding on to relationships. Y'all holding on to friendships. Y'all are holding on to dead situations. And still, y'all trying to give life to dead situations, dead friendships, dead friendships. When you hold on to things that are dead, you can't grow. You can't elevate. You cannot get to the next level when you keep holding on to dead ass situations. People that's not bringing any growth in your life. People that's not bringing any type of type of fulfillment in your life. When you hold on to people just to have them there out of fear of being lonely, out of fear of being of losing, you just still end up on the end. You still end up on the short stick at the end. You know what I'm saying? So you have to learn when it's time to let go of certain things. It's a season for everything. It's a season to keep things, and it's a season to let go of things as well. So anyway, I want to give a shout out to all of my subscribers. Believe it or not, I almost have 2,000 in subscribers. I want to thank all of you guys. I want to thank all of my supporters. I want to thank all of my followers, my subscribers. Well, don't follow me, follow Jesus. But I want to thank all of my Lady Mocha followers for just supporting me and rocking with me. My fan base has increased. I'm almost, I'm a little over 2,000 right now. And that's really fantastic for somebody who has not been in the game for even a year yet. So I want to thank all of you because I didn't do it by myself. I know y'all are sharing the video, y'all are liking, y'all are subscribing, and a lot of y'all have been donating. I really appreciate all the faith y'all been having in me and just rocking with me, rocking with your girl. I really appreciate all of y'all. I really, really do. I don't remember stay why I was there because they mess with that food. Ah, wake the hell up. You is a hot mess. You always got jokes. Yeah, that is so true. Yeah, I'm almost in 2,000 in subscribers. So that's really, really awesome. That my channel has really been growing significantly because y'all know how I roll. I basically whatever topics I come up with, I'm gonna keep it real. I come up with topics that are pretty much ordinary. It's something that everybody could relate to. You know what I mean? Because I just feel like sometimes in life, we need to be able to connect with people who can relate to us, who's down to earth. You know what I'm saying? Who's not always on Front Street, not always trying to make their lives look perfect, like everything is always great. Sometimes you need people that are just gonna keep it real and be down to earth. And in all honesty, that's why I don't hardly have any friends like I used to because I'm just not, I can't deal with fake people. I cannot deal with people who always got to make it seem like their life is perfect. They don't have no problems. They don't have no issues. Everything is always fine. Everything is always perfect. You have people that just have to constantly put up this front and act like they have it all together when in actuality they don't have it all together. You know what I'm saying? You have a lot of miserable souls walking around here that are really trying to put up this front and put on this facade, like they have it all together. And they don't have it all together like that. You know what I'm saying? And what people are not understanding that a lot of the time we hold our own selves back. We are our own worst enemy. While we always looking for somebody else to mess us over, we always trying to put up this guard because we want to make sure nobody not running no game on us and nobody not trying to take advantage of us and nobody's not out to use us. A lot of times we are our own worst enemy. While you worrying about somebody trying to become your enemy, you can become your own worst enemy. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of us are walking around here with a lot of baggage. You got a lot of people with a lot of issues, and they got too much pride to say I need help. Got too much pride to say I need advice. They got too much pride to say, you know what, I'm struggling right now. You know what I'm saying? It's everything. We live in a world, unfortunately, where people feel like they got to act like they got it all together, when in actuality they really don't have it all together. And it's just not even with your enemies or your friends, even people within your own family. People within your own family do not have your best interests at heart. It is what it is because you have so many people hating on you on so many different levels that you don't even understand. A lot of times we think a person can only hate on you if you have money. A person can only hate on you if you got a good job or you got a good marriage. That's not necessarily. You will be surprised. People hate on you for the smallest little things. Don't you know you got somebody that will hate on you just because of your wisdom? You got people that hate on you just because of your strength. You got people that hate on you just because you got the type of personality that stands out. You got people that hate on you just because you're not afraid to speak up. You would be surprised how many people will hate on you. Yeah. And that's true, Al Reynolds. In some cases, sometimes you have to fake it till you make it. Meaning that sometimes you got to play the role till you get to where you're going. You can't it's kind of like there's a balance with everything. You can't keep it too real. You can't be too fake. You can't be so fake to the point that where you come off as phony, but you can't be so open. You don't want to be too real. Because if you too real, then you too open. You basically letting all your guard down. You exposing all of your weaknesses. You exposing all of your failures. So you got to kind of keep a balance. You know what I'm saying? And you have to use your wisdom. When you've been out there in the world long enough, you'll start to be able to figure out as life goes on who you naturally could vibe with and who you don't vibe with. Because I'm the kind of person like this. I don't know, but I'm a Scorpio. That's my zodiac sign. And as a Scorpio, I'm not going to force myself to fit where I don't fit. If I don't vibe with you, if I don't connect with you, I don't care, even on the friendship level, I'm not going to be in your presence too long. The moment I get any type of indication that you phony, I get any type of indication that you shady, I will exit from you. That's just me. I'm not I'm not about to pretend to be around people I like who I don't like. And a lot of people like, well, you being stuck up, you being stuck up, you acting funny. I hear it all the time. I hear it all the time. I hear all the time that Mocha, you act funny, you act kind of funny. I'm like, I'm not, it's not that I'm acting funny, it's just the fact that once I get a vibe and I feel that you are full of crap, I'm not interested in you. It's just as simple as that. You could take it as you want to take it. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like we getting too old to keep pretending, and keep acting like certain things don't bother us when it bothers us. As I mentioned earlier this morning in the video I did, I had 18, I think it was 18, 19-year friendship that I had to let go of. I had to let go of that friendship. Yeah, you're right about that, Reynolds. Light and darkness cannot dwell together. I agree 100%. That's actually good slogan. And I was friends with this particular female for like 18 years. And I'm the kind of person, when it comes to friendship, I take it very seriously. I take friendship as serious as I take a marriage. I feel like if you're a friend, you're supposed to be there for that person no matter what. You should be able to, if that person is in need or if they just need you to listen to them, I think if you are a friend, you will be there for them and you will do that. Yeah, it's 193. I can't do the fake. I cannot do the fakeness. Once I smell fake on your breath, I'm out. It's just that simple. And I'm not talking about fake as in, you got a knockoff Coach bag or something like that. I mean fake as far as your personality. When you pretend to be a caring person, you pretend to be a loving person, but underneath that, you undercoverly hating. You get what I'm saying? I don't like stuff like that. I'm like this. If you don't like somebody, stop trying to be close to them just so you can find a way to screw them over. If you don't like the person, just don't connect with them. It's just as simple as that. But yeah, well, you can take two. Well, you can't take two friendship the same way you take marriage reality. Now, yeah, no, you definitely can't, Darnell. And the reason I agree with that because of what I'm getting ready to tell you. I've been friends with a young woman for 18 years because I'm a long-term person. Most people who are my friends, I've been friends with them for like 10 years or more. I'm not one of those people that go out there and try to make friends with everybody I meet. You know what I'm saying? Anybody I'm friends with, we have a history. I'm just a long-term person. I like stability. I don't like going from person to person, trying to meet this person, trying to learn this person, trying to rebuild trust with this person. I don't have the energy for that. So most of my friends were people I've known for 10 plus years, ever since high school. This particular friend, I had to let her go because for you ladies and for you ladies and you fellas who did not tune in this morning, I was discussing that sometimes you cannot sympathize with these women or these men who are constantly complaining about how they are being treated in their relationships and in their marriages, because some people like to be abused. As crazy as it sounds, some people like to be abused because, especially women, I don't see a lot of men that take a lot of stuff, but you have a lot of women who don't mind being mistreated. They don't mind being abused because they like the attention they get from it. They like the sympathy that they get from being abused. Well, basically, I've been friends with her a long time, and what was happening was she was going through a lot of things in her marriage, and her husband was just doing some like real shady stuff. I mean, I just, I know people have problems in their marriages and things. People are going to go through changes and things are not going to be perfect. But when I said this guy had really did her dirty, dirty's not even the word. I mean, he had played her in so many ways so it ain't even funny. But she was married to him for every bit of 9 years. They had 4 kids together. She had one from a previous relationship. And just over the years, being a friend, I've tried to counsel her and give her advice to the best of my ability on a lot of the things that she was going through. What's up, Simply D? 1985. Welcome to Cafe de Paris. Thank you for stopping in and dining in with me this evening. I'm not talking about anything in particularly. I'm just talking about random stuff. I don't have no specific topic tonight or whatever. But I want to thank you for dining in and stopping in and hanging out with me. And basically, you know, her last straw was she called me upset because last year when she filed her taxes, she called me wanting to know, you know, if I received my taxes because we kind of filed them around the same time. I said, yeah. You know, I've been filing my taxes. My money about gone. I had to pay bills and this and that. And she says, well, yeah, you know, because you know, me and my husband, we filed our taxes like way in advance, and I don't know what's going on with my tax money. It hasn't showed up yet. Something must be happening. I said, well, what you can do is you go on the IRS website and go to where's my money or whatever, and it'll let you know if the money came in yet. So for almost a week, she up here looking for the income tax money. Come to find out, she goes and does her research and find out the money been hit the account. Her husband had the income tax money the whole time, didn't tell her nothing. Knowing they got 5 kids, knowing they got bills, knowing they had all type of financial burdens, they really needed that money. And they had got back a good amount of money. It was over like $16,000 was the amount of money she had got back. Don't you know this man took the whole income tax check? He took the whole income tax check and didn't put a dime in his house. He didn't give her a dime for the kids. He didn't give her a dime for rent. He blew the whole income tax. Now, I don't know what man with a family of 5 and a wife would take $16,000 and just blow it in the street. Okay? She read the bank statement and saw he had been everywhere, just spending money like a doggone like a prostitute in Vegas. He spent that whole money, knowing him and his wife needed every dime of that money for his kids. That's what I'm getting ready to go into, Mr. Johnson. And basically, she called me upset, furious. She called me, she called my mother, and then she called her mom as well. So she let all 3 of us know what he did. You know what I'm saying? So basically, I guess she got, at that point in time, she was angry enough at that moment to get upset to start, taking matters in her own hands. So what happened was she moved out and she ended up getting her own place, and she actually had to go get a judge and get a restraining order because as the money was getting low, he became very possessive. And I told her when she started making an initiative to leave him, I said, be careful. Be very careful, because now that he sees you are taking action to leave this marriage or this relationship, he's going to come at you harder. He's going to become even more determined at trying to win you back. And it's not going to be because he loves you. It's going to be because he knows if you leave him that you're going to have the upper hand. And you have a lot of women who get fooled by that. They swear because they leave their man or they leave their abusive relationship and the man chases after them or runs after them, they automatically think that is love. They swear because a man who's been dogging them for years is running after them once they leave, they swear it's love. And it has nothing to do with love. It's all about him wanting to keep his power. And that's what it boiled down to. But she didn't look at it that way. You know what I'm saying? He really put on this performance. He put on this puppy performance, crying, acting all, well, I don't know if he was literally crying, but he was acting all remorseful, acting like he felt like he was wrong, how much he loved his kids, how much he loved her. When I say God was getting ready to open some doors for her. I mean, big doors. She was getting ready to get a large lump sum of alimony every month. She was getting ready to, get just a lot of opportunities was getting ready to come her way. But she allowed the power of the penis to overtake her. After he blew all the money, that's when he decides, oh, I want to be a husband now. Now I want to be a husband. I want to come back home and be a husband now. I want to come back home and be a father. After he done blew 16 grand. And you know half of that, he might have used that on Backpage. I'm serious. He blew all his money. My thing is, damn, if you gonna go out there and do your thing, at least make sure your family's straight. You know what I'm saying? Even though he still would have been wrong for messing around on his wife, my thing is this: if you gonna mess around on your wife, even though you wrong as hell for messing around on your wife, but if you just got to go there because you got no control over your penis, then what the least you can do is make sure the light bill paid, pay Netflix up for a year so your kids can have some goddamn cartoons and Power Rangers and stuff to watch. Make sure it's groceries. Make sure you put a tank full of gas in her truck. Make sure your wife's straight if you're going to do your dirt. You know what I'm saying? He left his family high and dry, like the Sahara Desert, and came back with nothing. And she took him right back. I was so done. It was like I blew a head gasket. That's how mad I was, you know. And I'm like, you know, for when a woman gets to that point in life to where you will just allow yourself to be abused and mistreated, basically you just have given up on life. You just see no more potential in yourself. When it gets to the point where you're willing to just lay there and accept and take anything, you have practically given up on yourself. And that's basically what she did. She gave up. You know, I during the time when they were separated, and he was out there doing his thing, blowing all the money. Don't you know she was more worried about him than she was worried about herself? You know, instead of her focusing on, okay, he's out there in the streets, he's messing up the money. Now you got to make a plan. You got to have a plan A, have a plan B for how you're going to take care of you and your children, how you're going to be able to leave this marriage or leave this relationship, you know, without it, you know, being any more complicated than what it has. She, believe it or not, y'all, she was more worried about him seeing another woman on her. That's all she was worried about. She wasn't worried about her kids' well-being. She wasn't worried about her well-being. She was more worried about him stepping out on her. That's all she was concerned about. And it's not just her. You have a lot of women out there. They do not mind being mistreated. They do not mind being abused and taken advantage of. As they just don't want that man giving that penis up to nobody else. That's all they worried about. They could care less if he paying the bills or not. They can care less if he's taking care of his children. As long as he's not donating his penis to nobody. That's the majority of some of these low common denominator females. That's their concern. They're more concerned with another woman trying to take a hood clown away from them than them actually being happy and having a man that's taking care of them and handling them. Yes, it's unfortunate, but a lot of that has to do with, I realized in her case, the reason why she had allowed herself to get to that point to take so much, unfortunately, she had bogged herself down with so many children from him. She had a child every year in that marriage. She got pregnant every year. Knowing the marriage was struggling, knowing the marriage was in trouble. I can't even begin to tell you guys, and some of you ladies, you know, I'm sure some of y'all could co-sign and agree with me on this. You have females, you have these broads that know their marriage is in trouble, that know their relationship is in trouble, or know they cannot even depend on the man they're dealing with, and they will still keep having children from them. They will still continue to have children from them. They will not use birth control because it's all about trying to lock the man in. It's all about trying to lock him in. It's all about doing whatever they think they can do to try to keep that man trapped with them. Not understanding that, yeah, you trapping him, but at the same token, you trapping yourself. Because it's going to be hard for you to move on when you have so much damn baggage. You know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of black women are stuck in unhealthy relationships because they have a lot of baggage. They have a lot of baggage, and what ends up happening is, you know, they come off as looking like the billboard of damaged goods. 9 times out of 10, guys, if y'all want to admit it or not, if you meet a woman with 5 kids, you're going to automatically think something is wrong. You're not going to want to be bothered. It's not too many men that's going to pick up where another man done left off. It's not too many that's willing to do that. And for the men who are willing to do it, it's 9 times out of 10 low common denominator dudes who will not mind being with a woman that has multiple children, but men of real substance, men of real character, it's not too many of them that's going to get involved with women that got so much baggage from a previous relationship. And what happens is a lot of these women, they know if they were to go back out there into the dating world, if they were to go back out there into the real world with 5, 6, 7 children, ready if all those kids are from the same man or from different men, ain't too many men. It's not too many men that's going to touch them. Men are going to treat women that have a bunch of kids like they got a disease. It's just a known fact. It's not too many men that are going to get involved with a woman that has a bunch of children because that's a package deal. And honestly, I understand that because for me, I was the same way. I never got involved with men who had a bunch of damn kids. If I dated you, I don't care how good looking you was. I didn't care how much money you made. If you was a man that had seeds scattered all over town, I would not give you the time of day because it's just too much drama, when you're dealing with somebody that has a bunch of kids. You know what I'm saying? I mean, only people who have been in that situation would understand that. It is not easy dealing with somebody that has a bunch of responsibilities. You know what I'm saying? That has a bunch of children, and again, a lot of it comes from the fact that a lot of people, they know their relationship is in trouble. They know their marriage is in trouble, and yet they will continue to keep producing children. Not understanding that it's only going to complicate the situation. You have a lot of married couples that cannot enjoy each other and cannot enjoy being married because they have so much responsibilities. Sometimes, what people have to understand, I tell my daughter the same thing. She's only 16, and I give her a lot of advice, as far as what to expect, because she's at that age where she's getting curious with boys and relationships. And I try to tell my daughter, when you decide to go out there and you decide to get out there and start dating and meeting men, even if you get married, do not have so many kids right away in your marriage. Learn to just enjoy each other in the marriage. Learn to just be able to spend time with each other. Just give you and that man need to give each other that space to be able to enjoy each other. But you have a lot of marriages that are under pressure and are dismantling because they have so many damn responsibilities. They got too many kids, got too many damn bills, because let's be honest, kids are bills. I'm saying it again, kids are bills. I don't care how cute they look, I don't care how pretty they look. When you have a child, you just added another bill to your life. It's as simple as that. So I try to tell my daughter, if you get married, do not have a bunch of damn kids right away just because you married. And you have a lot of women that live in that fantasy that, oh, I'm married, I got a husband now, I can have as many kids as I want. You stressed out. The husband stressed out. Because y'all did not give yourselves enough time to just enjoy being with each other. Y'all added on all these other responsibilities before y'all could even learn how to just get used to being married. Marriage in itself is a job. You have a lot of people around here, especially women, that are not understanding marriage is a job. It's a full-time job. Marriage is nothing to play with. There is too many grown folks running out here, running to the altar, just to say they got a husband, just to say they got a wife, not understanding that once you get married, that person becomes your responsibility. It's more than you carry his last name. She carries your last name. You purchased a $2,000-$3,000 dress. The cake was $600-$800. The cake is just the event. The wedding is just the event. The marriage is a totally separate issue from a wedding. And there's too many women out there that are getting infatuated with, they're more in love with the idea of being in love. You have a lot of women that are so infatuated with being married that they're not, you know, considering all of what it takes to really hope, not really considering all of what marriage consists of. You know, marriage consists of a lot of work. It's going to be trials. It's going to be tribulations. And that's true. A lot of people doing it lonely. But guess what, Mr. Johnson? Guess what? These women ain't being lonely by themselves now. Who's marrying these women? You got a lot of these lonely ass men too now. These women ain't marrying themselves. Why is these men marrying them? You got some lonely dudes out there too. And it seems like it's just as much men that are so eager to run to the altar than women. I'm not understanding that. It used to take a long time for a woman to even manipulate. Back then, a woman couldn't even manipulate a man into marrying her. I don't care how good she was in bed. He was not going to marry her unless he really knew for a fact that was somebody he could see having a future with. These men now, they signing up to be married like you go to Enterprise to sign up to get a goddamn rental car. Yeah, and I think you got a point there, Darnell. Yeah, they be having other women, you know, and then a lot of times too, it's and you know what? And I hate to say it, but you're right. A lot of men who have gotten married, it has been out of convenience. It has been out of convenience. It's been out of, I need somewhere to stay. It's been out of, you know, I'm living in the streets. I'm living in the shelter. You know, it's always an agenda. And what people don't realize is whenever you get married, if marriage is based on an agenda, it's never going to last. A lot of marriages are struggling because there was not any real genuine love in the first place. A lot of people marry out of convenience. You got men marrying out of convenience. You got women that are marrying out of the fear of being lonely, feeling like I'm getting up in my age. I need to have somebody, you know. A lot of people are not understanding that marriage is a very serious step. It's a very serious life-changing event. It's not something you should play with any kind of way. And what's happening with a lot of these marriages is by the time you have so many people that's playing house, and by the time they really find out that marriage is not a game, they stuck. They got too many kids. They got too many bills. They stuck. They want to leave, but they can't leave. You know what I'm saying? Because they stuck. You have a lot of married miserable couples around here that are miserable because there was no real, they didn't have the right incentives in getting married in the first place. Hey Steve, how you doing? You have some people who have they have motives. They have too many motives behind getting married, and a lot of people are getting married just to spite somebody. It's a lot of people that's getting married because they're still trying to spite an ex. They trying to spite their baby daddy, spite their baby mama. You have a lot of people that's just getting married for all kind of reasons, and it really boils down to just trying to piss somebody off. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of the times it's all about a game. It's just a strategy. Yeah, you definitely, and a lot of marriages, people do not know how to communicate. They do not know how to talk to each other. You know, and again, what people got to realize is marriage is not perfect. It's things you are going to go through that you're not going to always be prepared to go through. Serious things happen. What people got to realize, when you marry that person, you are putting your life in that person's hands. Want to rush to the altar, who's so quick to want to hurt and sign them marriage certificates. Let me tell you something. When you sign that paper, you are putting your lives into that person's hands. That's what people are not understanding. That person becomes the guardian of your estate. Meaning that, God forbid, if you get in a tragic situation, you get in a car accident, you get in something serious, and you're laying on your deathbed, that person gets to decide when to pull the plug on you. That's how deep it is. People don't want to think that far ahead. Like, God forbid if something happens to me. Can I trust this person with my life? Whoever you marry, you have to realize you have to trust that person with your life, because you may get in a situation. I know someone now. I know a young man, unfortunately, who got in a car accident and his head hit the windshield. Because of that, it took away his impairment in a sense to where he has the mind of like a 12, like an 11-year-old. He's almost 45 years old. And the accident, what happened was when his head hit the windshield, it caused his brain to shift. Okay, and what it did was it took away his, I don't know the word for it, but basically he's not able to function as an adult anymore. He's going to need to be guided practically for the rest of his life. He's not in a position to handle bills. He can't even drive himself no more. And the sad part about it is he's married to a woman that has never respected him, that has always been with other men on him. All of this happened while before he even when he was in his right mind. She always disrespected him. She always cheated on him. She always did all kind of, she wasn't really a wife. That's the best way I could put it. And the sad part is, he had plenty of chances to leave her. His family was supporting him, getting ready to back him up. I mean, she disgraced him. I mean, she did everything that a wife shouldn't have done who really loves her husband. That's the best way I could say it. And what ended up happening was, unfortunately, she's the guardian of his estate. And the problem is, Mr. Johnson, it's not a goddamn thing his family could do about it, because that's his wife. Legally, they have no rights. They can't do nothing about what she does. And now that he has this condition, she's gotten worse. She's gotten, pregnant on him from other men. She's gotten worse since his condition. And the whole family knows it, and there's absolutely nothing they can do about it. Nothing. Because that's his wife legally. And this is what I'm trying to make these people out here understand. You folks that want to be married so bad, that want to hurry up and rush to the altar. What you're not understanding is, if that person is not treating you right and your right mind, imagine what the hell they gonna do, God forbid, if you're not in your right mind. Imagine what they'll do. If they cheating on you, lying on you, disrespecting you, and you in your right mind, imagine what they gonna do to you, and God forbid, you end up paralyzed in a wheelchair and they got to wipe your ass for you. You know what I'm saying? I mean, do y'all feel where I'm coming from? Is anybody not marinating with me on this? This is what I'm saying. You have to be careful marrying people out all kind of way, because this person will practically have a say-so in your life. And the true story is, my best friend, she died in a car accident July 3rd. She passed away. Her old man, he was not even a good husband, really, before she passed. And this is not to disgrace her or make her look any kind of way, because she's always been a woman about hers. But her husband was just as useless as an old pair of shoes out of Salvation Army with a hole in it. He was just as useless as he could be. And basically, when she was living, me and her used to talk all the time like friends do, and she never had his support. She never had his support. Down to the little things, on Mother's Day, on anniversary. He had more excuses than a nigga in jail for why he couldn't buy her a Hallmark, buy her Mother's Day card. It was just very disheartening, all of what she had to go through. And she was a woman who was simple. She didn't want a lot, it's just the little things. And I guess he just felt like she was so in love with him that I guess he felt like he just didn't have to do nothing. You got some men and you got some women who really feel like their spouse is so in love with them that they ain't got to do nothing to keep that person happy. And that's basically what happened. So sure enough, the night of the accident, it was every bit of 10, 11 something that night. And she had to go drop some dinners off to some ladies at her job. Now, anytime a man, this is to give you an idea as to what kind of character this dude had. If you know your wife is leaving the house 10, 11 o'clock at night to go drop off some dinners, wouldn't you want to go with her? Just, I mean, if that's your wife, wouldn't you want to go with your wife to make sure that is, she's safe? Wouldn't, I mean, I know me, when I leave the house all the time at night, my husband be like, where you going? Well, I'm going to the store. Oh, I'm going with you because it's late. I don't want you traveling by yourself all the time of night. I mean, that's how my husband is. He ain't no possessive where I can't have my freedom. But when it's late like that, he don't trust me going out there by myself. Because he knows so I kind of, freaks. Yeah, if it's not far out. But where she was going was every bit of 35 to 40 minutes away, Mr. Johnson. She wasn't going right up the street to get some milk from 7-Eleven. Okay, he know her job in some good bit of ways, because I used to work at that same job. It took me almost like 30 minutes to get there. So in the job was over a long extended bridge. It's a long bridge you got to take to get to that place. And he didn't even offer to go with her. He did not offer to go with her. And neither did he know that was going to be the last time he was going to see her ever. And the sad part is, it was bad enough he wasn't the husband he could have been when she was living. He wasn't even the best husband even after she passed away. He did not even want to help her family pick out her dress and shoes for her funeral. Didn't change him one bit. Now, since it's been going on 2-3 years now, slowly but surely, I think reality has set in and he's become a little bit more remorseful, but he's still not as remorseful as he should have been. But this is what I tried. This basically the reason I told y'all that story is to make y'all realize this. If you got a husband right now, if you got a wife right now that's treating you like crap, God forbid, if your Heavenly Father decides to call you on in to the pearly gates, or to the pits of hell, wherever you're going to end up at, realize that whatever you're dealing with, that's what your family going to have to deal with. That is what your family going to have to deal with. You have a lot of people, they don't think about stuff like that. If you already have a spouse or a companion that's nasty, difficult, complicated, your spouse does not get along with your family don't like your spouse, God forbid, if you get in a situation and you can't verbalize to your family what you want, and you can't tell your family what you want, unless you really wrote out a will, stressing from A, B to C to D. But guess what? If that's your wife or your husband, he or she gonna override that will. Because guess what? You can't speak from the grave. You cannot speak from the grave. If you don't have a companion that's that's true to you while you here, they're definitely not going to be true to you when you leave. And it's just as simple as that. And people need to take into account that these are things that you need to think about when you get married. This is stuff you need to think about. And again, you have a lot of women that are stuck with these clowns or are stuck with these type of men. And it's not to say all men are bad. You just have some people that make poor choices in men. Like you have some men that make poor ass choices in women. No, Mr. Johnson, do not take somebody else's experience and make that, and utilize that to make you change your perspective on getting married. You can't do that. You know what I mean? It's just that you have to be wise. You have to be wise and you have to be prepared for the games that are out there, because it's so much game on so many levels. You know what I'm saying? And you just can't be gullible. You know what I mean? So many people are rushing to run down to the altar, rushing to run down there and get married. And when you see your relationship going in full speed, when you see things are accelerating to a level it don't need to accelerate to, you better jump ship. as soon as you can, because if something happens, there's nothing your family can do about it. I mean, it is what it is. Just my 4 cents says don't do it. Why, Mr. Why 4 cents? Why are you so dead set against being married? What happened to you? You must have been burnt pretty bad for you to give that statement. You make marriage sentences. Oh my goodness. He said, don't do it. Like as if Darnell said he's gonna commit suicide or something. Oh my gosh. Y'all are crazy. Marriage is what you make of it. It is not, marriage is what you make of it. If you make marriage miserable, it's gonna be miserable. It is what you and that person make of it. I'm gonna get married. Yeah, I tell you guys, I'm married now. I love my wife, but at this point, only the raise. What? Just my 4 cents. I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna have to dig. I'm gonna get a shovel because I'm gonna have to dig up on you a little bit. You said you married now, love your wife, but at this point, only to raise your 2 sons is. I mean, damn, is it that bad? What's going on? You ain't been getting none lately. What's up? And you have a lot of people. You have a lot of people that are doing that. Thank you, D Boys, for the $5 donation. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you. And for all of you, if you see any smoke through my screen, I'm not smoking weed and I'm not smoking a blunt. I'm burning a damn incense. So don't ask me if I'm smoking a blunt or anything. I just have to burn my incense. I believe in aromatherapy, y'all. I gotta have different incense and smells and scents and stuff. Too difficult over the years. You know what? Unfortunately, sometimes marriage just has a way of going sour. It can go sour. If you have to love your spouse or your companion enough to catch it before it gets too dry, before it gets too stale. Believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, every marriage has a stale point, okay? Every marriage has a drought, all right? Don't think that because you get married, it's going to always be exciting. It's going to always be adventurous. It is going to get stale. I'm going to keep it 100. It is going to get stale sometimes. That comes with the territory. It's no different than if you've been on the same job for 30 years. You might have been excited that first week or two when you first got that job, but hell, after being there 10, 11, 12 years, and you look at it like any other job. So yes, anything that you put a lot of years into, it can get stale. That comes with the territory. That becomes too difficult over the years. It's a reason for everything. I don't know what has happened. I don't want you to get too personal, because I understand you have a whole lot of people that's on here, and I understand. I wouldn't want to put nobody on blast like that, but it's a reason for everything. It's a reason for everything. Just my 4 cents. Hold on, guys. I got to get my freaking phone. I don't know who's calling me. Ain't nobody's it's my daughter's school calling me. But yeah, as I was stating, yeah, every marriage has its droughts. It's kind of like, this is the thing about marriage. Both people have to realize, you both have to constantly be in tune. It's kind of like me and my husband been together for so long. We can both feel when the marriage is getting stale. We can feel it. And when we get to that point, what we do is, instead of lashing out on each other and picking on each other and just aggravate each other, we will go out of town. We'll go out to dinner. You have to do something to bring that spark back. If not, it's going to dry all the way on out. Marriage is one of those things, ladies and gentlemen, you got to constantly keep watering it. I'm about to sound poetic, so forgive me if my poetry is a little corny, a little lame. Forgive me. I'm not an expert at this. But marriage is like a flower. You have to constantly keep watering it. You have to water it. You have to give it sunlight. Even with a flower, anybody who's ever owned a flower or ever owned a plant, if you keep that plant in the house too long and you don't put water on it, what happens? It dries. It dies out. That's what happens. Same thing with marriage. That's why I say marriage is like a flower. You have to keep watering it. And what I mean by watering it, water it with conversation. Water it with quality time. Definitely water it with going to church, having a relationship with God. Water your relationship by y'all spending time with your family together, spending time with your friends. You have to keep watering your marriage. A lot of people, the problem with marriage, y'all, a lot of people will do everything it takes to get married, but a lot of people won't do what it takes to stay married. Getting married and staying married is not the same thing, ladies. Not the same thing, gentlemen. Anybody can run out there and get married, but preserving that marriage and maintaining it, that is where the challenge comes in at. Yes, women dancing, and it's different factors that lay into that. But guess what, Mr. Johnson? Everybody is supposed to change in a marriage. If you marry somebody at 20 years old and y'all damn near, y'all 40, do you want your 40-year-old wife to still have that 20-year-old damn brain she first had when y'all first got married? Think about what I just said. People are always saying stuff like, people change. She changed. He changed. Hello, marriage is supposed to change. I mean, like, who goes around wearing the same pair of damn drawers? Don't y'all change drawers? Don't y'all change y'all panties? Nobody wears the same pair of panties or drawers for no 2-3 days. Things change. It's supposed to change. As you get older, things change, okay? That's normal. Your wife is supposed to change. Your husband is going to change. You know what I'm saying? I mean, when I was what, 21? I was 24 when we met. I don't want that 20-year-old man. I don't want that 24-year-old man back. Hell no. At 24, my husband was wild. He stayed gone, stayed in the streets, gone to the pool hall. I have to call him 2-3 in the morning. Where you at? What you doing? I hear all the people in the background. He at the pool hall shooting pool. He loves to shoot pool. My husband is a big pool person. They call him the one-hand man. He likes to shoot pool with one hand. I don't get it, whatever. But I don't want that same 21-year-old guy that I first married. And he done made it clear to me he don't want that same 20-year-old girl he married. Because I was a handful. He couldn't do much of anything with me either. Become controlling, demanding to a certain degree. But sometimes, Mr. Johnson, sometimes you have to be. And I'm going to tell you why. Because sometimes people will get married with that single person mentality. Okay? And the problem is, this is the problem with a lot of you single people. And I'm going to tell y'all this. The problem with the majority of y'all single folks out there, a lot of y'all, when y'all have been single for so long, y'all have gotten used to not answering to nobody. Y'all have gotten used to coming and going as you please, doing what you want to do, and all of that. Now that you're in a marriage, you can't just come and go. When you by yourself, you could pick up your car keys, go out 2-3 in the morning, grab you a burger from In-N-Out, and it not be a problem. When you married and you got a wife there and you leave at 3-4 in the morning, yeah, she's going to say something. And hell, if she's leaving 3-4 in the morning, I would hope that you would say something to her. We're not war out with all these agreements. I'm sure we aren't cheating, anything like that, but I'm tired of nagging. I'm in a part of the playbook. Oh, just my 4 cents. I hear you. I hear you, honey. You have my sympathy. I totally get it. Women, we are some very strange creatures. We are very strange. We go through all type of internal changes that we do not always discuss with y'all as our husbands. Your wife could be crazy about you today, all over you today. Yeah, and tomorrow she's flipping and tripping and going through, something. It's like this Dr. Jekyll and Mrs. Hyde persona. And the problem with the majority of us women, where our emotions are constantly fluctuating like a damn elevator, going up and down. The problem with women, guys, is that we are just very emotional. And I know it's lame. I know y'all done heard that so many times, but I'm going to the depth of what I mean by emotional, meaning that we have 5,000 thoughts a day, and men, y'all may have 5 thoughts a day. Okay, we are constantly scrutinizing ourselves, We are constantly judging ourselves. Believe it or not, women, we are more judgmental of our own selves than anybody. We are constantly criticizing ourselves. We are constantly looking down on ourselves, especially as we get older. And because you're constantly, and it does come from low self-esteem, but it's not always just low self-esteem either. It just comes with the fact that women, we just some emotional down creatures. We just self-esteem is part of it, but it has a lot to do with, because you could be a confident woman. You could be confident and not have self-esteem issues, but you're still emotional. You get what I'm saying? Emotional and low self-esteem is not the same thing. Like, for example, let me tell you what I mean by emotional and low self-esteem is not the same thing. I'm an emotional person, meaning that I may feel down today because I put on a pound or two. I bought this new dress that I can't fit because I let that red light at Krispy Kreme tempt me to where I put on 2-3 pounds for a dress I can't fit. For that moment, I may be feeling bad. Like, damn, wow, I'm getting older. I'm putting on weight. I got to be more careful with how I take care of myself. And for that moment in time, depending on how my husband is acting towards me, because I'm not in a good moment at that time, I may miss and take it out or snap on him or whatever the case is. But it's not because I have low self-esteem. He just so happened caught me at an emotional time. And being that I didn't verbalize that to him, he thinking I'm just being a bitch. When in actuality, I had an emotional moment at that time. Now, a woman with low self-esteem, on the other hand, when if it was her in a situation and she put on a pound or two, she stays miserable about it for weeks at a time. Okay, she's constantly, like you said, the word competition. She's constantly competing and comparing herself against other women who may be smaller than her. You know what I'm saying? She may feel like, because she's so insecure in herself, the moment she sees her husband even glancing and looking at another woman, she'll blow up on him like he did something wrong, when really it's her own internal insecurities that she executed towards him. You get what I'm saying? So that is what I mean by, you have some women that are emotional and you have some women that got low self-esteem. I could be emotional and still function and still be loving, still be caring, and still be compassionate. Woman with low self-esteem could get so bent out of shape. She's mean, she's nasty. She don't even know how to keep her composure, even though she's not feeling her best at that moment, basically. So I'm gonna come home and hear complaints all night long. And yeah, just my full sense. Yeah, I know women. We could be a bit too. We could be a bit much. Just sounds like to me it's something personal going on within herself. because evidently you're not the one with the issue. You know, you're handling your business. You come home. There's no cheating. Like you said, there's none of that. It's something internally going on. And until she finds a way to clear herself of that, she's going to be taking it out on you and anybody and everybody else who has nothing to do with it. That sounds like a PP to me, personal problem. That's basically what it boils down to. And until she finds a way to deal with that, she's gonna constantly be miserable, and in turn, that's gonna make you miserable. You know, so I hopefully she gets a grip before it's too late, and you don't get frustrated and you don't give up on her. Hopefully, hopefully, she gets a grip on that before it's too late. Donnell says send her ass to the nut house. Yeah, you know why women feel that way? Because see, women, again, we emotional. You know, what women are not understanding, which I don't understand, is that women and men, we display compassionate we display compassion differently. You know, women, when something, for example, as women, if one of my girlfriends was to call me and say, girl, I really need to talk to you, I'm going through something, I'm very overly attentive. Girl, what's going on? What happened? What can I do to help you? Are you for real? You know, I'm really overly attentive. And women, by nature, we are overly attentive with each other. But men, on the other hand, y'all are not going to do all of that. And I'm not saying y'all should. You may, if you see her bit out of shape, you may be like, baby, what's wrong? Is everything okay? And she may be like, everything's fine. And then you be like, oh, okay, all right. Well, I'm going to go on in and finish watching the game with the fellas. You know, and because you're not pushing and pressing and asking her the way she feel you should have asked her, she's automatically thinking that you're not caring enough. When in actuality, you care. You're just not showing it in a way where she think you should display it. I think every man, every woman, we show our compassion different. Men show their compassion different compared to women. We just do. Yeah, women, we have a lot of high expectations, and it, believe it or not, it takes maturity. It takes maturity. I had to realize that. It takes maturity. I had to realize that just because my husband didn't tell me he loves me every day didn't mean he doesn't love me. He didn't have to tell me that every day. You know, for me to believe that. But it took me to be mature enough to understand that just because he's not verbalizing it every day of the week, it doesn't mean that he doesn't. But that takes years, and again, all of this comes from communication. Women have to understand it, like, this, what's the saying? Women are from Mars, men are from Venus, or whatever the hell. We just got a totally different dialogue from you guys. When you guys are upset with us, y'all will go straight to the point. Y'all might say, I didn't like the fact that you didn't clean the house today before went out to have drinks with your girls. The least you could do was clean the house. And that be that. Women, when we want to argue with y'all, we'll bring up 6,000 damn things that got nothing to do with the issue in the first damn place. I mean, communication is just something we constantly have to work on. And I'm still working on that. I have to tell myself sometimes, all right, Mocha, get straight to the point. Because, most men, y'all have a short attention span. Y'all may hear something the first 2 minutes in the conversation. After that, everything else is blah, 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 blah. And it just seems like, she's just not, she's not really familiar and understanding the fact that your way of communicating is totally different from hers. She thinks because you're not, overly attentive, with every issue that you're not concerned, and that's not true. Because what a lot of women got to understand is just because somebody is overly attentive with your problem, that don't mean they care either. You have people that will sit there and listen to you all day. You have people that sit there and act like they're so concerned and will talk back and forth with you all day. And you really swear they concerned and care about you, when really they just want to be nosy as hell. So a lot of the times as women, we got to understand that just because a man isn't overly expressing or showing his gratitude every time we go through something or every time there's an issue, it doesn't mean that that man is less concerned. It doesn't mean that that man doesn't have compassion or he doesn't have feelings for what we're going through. He's just not going to express it as strongly as we would like them to. I mean, men speak another language. And women, we have our own language. And that's why I say marriage is definitely something that's not to be played with. It's a lot of work. It's a full-time job. You're going to go through some heavy situations in life. You're going to go through some challenges. When you have children, your children are going to go through things. When you marry each other, not only are y'all marrying each other, y'all marrying each other's families. You know, you may have in-laws that you don't bond with. She may have a family that you may have a family that your wife don't bond with. It's going to be some challenges. It's going to be some complications along the way. But again, like I tell anybody, marriage is what you make of it. That's really what it boils down to. You could be a blessing to one another, or you can be a burden to one another. It's really up to the both of you as the man, as the woman. If y'all want to see each other grow and y'all want to see each other be successful. But I see that I am running into 70 minutes and 50 seconds into my video. But I definitely want to thank all of you ladies, all of you guys for stopping in, tuning in with me. I know I had an issue early this morning. With me having to abruptly end my video, but as I explained to y'all before, I had a little situation. But again, I just want to thank all of you for just walking out with me, supporting my channel, donating. And guys, don't forget to hit that thumbs up before y'all shut me down for the evening, okay? Don't side chick me now. Don't come over here wanting to get some of this knowledge and then you leaving me now. Don't be back paging me, y'all. I love all of you so much. Thank you for rocking out with me. Don't forget to donate, like, share, subscribe the video. Also, I still am working on my book. I'm going to make sure you guys get that material very soon. I'm going to be uploading a video with my mom. Hopefully by next week. I know a lot of people have been requesting it, have been demanding it, and I'm going to make sure I deliver that material to you guys very soon. So thank y'all for tuning in with me, your girl, Lady Mocha at Cafe de Paris, where I'm always pouring you a cup of truth and I'm going to always break you off a slice of knowledge. Y'all have a wonderful weekend and y'all take care. Love y'all. Bye.